I just saw the Despicable Me 4 trailer, and it stirred some emotions in me that I'm not so sure I like. It's not that I'm attracted to Gru, but everyone is. It's about something different. It's about Illumination. I am not a fan of any of Illumination's movies. I really don't like it. I'm gonna get into reasons later, but it seeps into the Despicable Me 4 trailer. And a lot of people are excited for it, which is amazing, but I'm gonna be that grandpa that's yelling at the kids to get off their lawn because, it makes me angry. I gotta talk about it. I gotta rant about this. I've written a whole document about it. The most work I've put into one of these videos ever. So, firstly, I want to talk about things I like about Illumination, and specifically Despicable Me 4, the trailer. So, I like the voice acting from Steve Carell. That's pretty awesome. I like the character design. The design of Gru is so iconic and memorable. Even the minions are designed pretty well, let's be honest. Yeah, they're designed well enough to be on your mum's Facebook page. I love the animation quality. You gotta admit, Illumination has really beautiful, nice looking animation. And I really like the premise as well. The premise that the villain has to do good, and he's, a grumpy old villain, but he does good things. So I think that's really cool. And I don't even mind the minions. The minions are good. It's a kid's movie. I get that. The thing that really grinds my gears is the constant, really predictable plot that never has any stakes, because at the very end, the villain is winning, the villain's absolutely stomping, everything's gone wrong, but then boom, what do you know, the villain's pulled something right out of that big old butt, and they use it to defeat the villain. It's that simple. And it's happened in all of the Illumination movies I've seen. I'm gonna be honest here, I'm not an Illumination aficionado. I don't know every movie. I don't know The Secret Life of Pets. I haven't seen Hop, but I've seen all the Despicable Me's. I've read up about the Minions: The Rise of Gru, which I didn't see because, again, I thought the plot would be extremely predictable, and spoilers, it was. And I've also seen the Mario movie, which I liked, but again, it falls into the same category that there's predictable stories. But before I get on to talking about why that specifically peeves me so much about all these, I'm gonna talk about the Despicable Me 4 trailer. So it's firstly, it introduces the worst plot device in all of movie history. It introduces the main character having a kid that doesn't like them. If I had a nickel every time that happens, I wouldn't be that rich, but I'd be extremely freaking annoyed with all the money I have, because I hate it when they introduce a plot like that, because you know exactly how it's gonna go. The kid doesn't like them at the start. Something happens to the kid. The main character has to save the kid. The kid likes the main character, and I guarantee you that's exactly how it's gonna go. And again, it's a rehash of the first Despicable Me, which makes it extremely, even more egregious, because in the first Despicable Me, he has to warm up to the girls and everything. The girls have to warm up to him. And now in Despicable Me 4, we got another kid that he has to look after. And come on, let's be honest. The reason we watch Despicable Me isn't for the girls, or it isn't for the kid, unless you're EDP. Yeah, it's for the coolness. It's for the interesting idea of Gru being a villain who has to do heroic stuff. So that really gets me. That's the most annoying part. But there's another thing. There's another heist that goes wrong. You'll notice in every single Despicable Me movie, there is always a heist, and the heist always goes wrong. In the first one, it was Gru trying to get into Vector's place to, I think it was, get the shrink ray or the moon? I think it was the shrink ray, but he can't get into Vector's place. The second one, it was in whatchamacallim's restaurant, where they do get in successfully and they get out successfully, but what do you know? There was nothing there. The secret sauce was literally just a secret sauce for his restaurant, and it wasn't the secret thing they were looking for. Another fail. And episode 3, they get the diamond, they do the heist, but what do you know? They lose it because Mr. Balthazar Brat has disguised as Lucy and then takes the kids hostage. So all 3 times they fail a heist, and it looks like once again he's gonna be failing because he manages to clumsily flunder? Is that even a word? Who cares? I'm making it now. He flumbers it and straight into his butt, and then he tranquilizes himself. And of course, we see the grandma wake up and arrest him. well, not arrest him, because I don't think she's with the police, judging by those tire wheels, but she gets them. And so, another failed heist, which, once again, you know, it's getting repetitive, and it's gonna come back later when I talk more about why the stories are very predictable. But another thing, they're bringing back an old villain. Like, the whole premise of this movie is that an old villain of Gru's has broken out. Who is this villain? Fan favorite Vector? Who I'm currently dressed as, well, color-wise, in Celebration, which was a definite coincidence. But no, it's a brand new character. And that annoys me just as much as the kid, because that was the perfect time to bring Victor back off the sidelines, you know, hit him in the butt with a towel and be like, go get him, son, give him a little slap. Boom, go get him, Victor. And no, we don't bring Victor back. We bring in this new cockroach-themed villain. Which, firstly, ew, who wants to see a cockroach-themed villain? And secondly, give us an old one. Unless they're doing a twist, which a lot of people are saying might happen, I don't think it's gonna happen. But look, I'll open my mouth for the aeroplane and eat the vegetables for that one, because I'm willing to overlook those. But the trailer just shows that this movie is going to once again include what I hate the most about Illumination. And I think I said the kid about Despicable Me 4 trailers, but it's actually worse than this. It's the fact that the hero acts stupid throughout the movie, they fail at a lot of things, and then somehow at the very end of the movie, they become like Chuck Norris. They become a god at everything because, I don't know, the girls said, go get him, Dad, hit him in the nuts. He just becomes a hero, and that's what this trailer is showing us again. The biggest example being with the skunk. In the previous movies, Gru has shown he is extremely capable at the very end of doing what needs to be done, of being like a super kung fu fighter. Man takes on Balthazar Brat, who's basically Michael Jackson combined with Jackie Chan. He takes on El Macho, the super mega wrestler supervillain, with a taser, and you're telling me now he's getting scratched up by a honey badger and he drops the tranquilizer on himself? And then also, there's a scene later on in the movie where he rolls on stage and is like, hiya! And then it's followed by all these operatives coming in. So I imagine that scene is him like accusing someone, and it turns out that he's incorrect, and then the people come in. I can't be too sure about that. But it's frustrating because the whole movie, and this happens in 1, 2, and 3, and I'm just about to go into that, but the whole movie, he's incompetent, he's dumb, he's goofy, he's like a clown in a circus. And then all of a sudden, at the end, boom, he kicks into hyperdrive. He goes wacko mode. He goes insano style. And it's always because something magically happens, or they magically have this thing, which was maybe mentioned once way earlier in the movie, that ends up saving the day. Boom, easy peasy, lickety split, barely a problem, super simple. For example, finally, Despicable Me 1. The reason Vector loses is because the shrink ray has a timer on it, and which he didn't know about, which nobody knew about. And so the moon started getting bigger again. Wow, how convenient. That's how he loses. The Despicable Me 2 with El Macho. My man injects steroids. He goes the full fitness influencer lifestyle, and he just gets tased. Gru just whips out the lipstick taser and bzzz, and he's gone. The Despicable Me 3. Gru, at the very end, somehow beats Michael Jackson mixed with Jackie Chan in a fight, in just a one-on-one street brawl. Outdoes the guy who's been doing better than him for the entire movie, in every single way. Have you seen how many flips Balthazar Brat did? Gru hasn't done a single flip. And then Gru somehow manages to steal his guitar at the end. And even Rise of Gru, and I did my research on this one, I didn't see the movie, but the minions in animal form, and this one real boils my bubbles, busts my boiler. It gets me angry, it gets me mad. The minions in animal form, as a rabbit, a chicken, and something else, are able to take on the squad of elite supervillains that are powered up by the ancient animal amulet that they've been looking for the whole time. Those supervillains suck. They gotta go back to daycare. They're awful. And look, I get it's a kid movie, but it just comes out of nowhere. There's so many good kids movies out there which don't do that. Okay, so I just stopped to think about it with the Super Mario Brothers movie, and dear Lord, this is the worst case of it happening. My God, the writers should be fired, because the entire movie is about getting Peach back, but they fail to get Peach back. And then in the final act, Toad just manages to smuggle in an ice flower to the wedding, and boom, Peach gets it, everyone's free. What was the point of all the previous stuff? just so Mario could get fit enough to be able to knock that bullet bill into the warp pipe. And then at the end, when the Bowser has the star and Peach is kidnapped and all she has to do is kick a Koopa shell, hits the star, and they're done. It's ridiculous. But also, I just keep going on with things. I know, this is the last point, but there's no continuation or consequences of any plot. The only continuation is Gru has girls and wife, Gru has girls and wife and kid, and next, like, Gru's gonna have girls and wife and kid and granddaughters. And then it just keeps going down the entire Gru family timeline like something out of JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. It's a minor thing, but it gets me too. Like, bring Vector back, have some, long-term consequences, or bring back a cool villain, something like that. That's just a suggestion. But here's how I think Despicable Me 4 is going to go down. This is my prediction based on a super predictable plot. And after the movie's done, you can come back and either say, "You're right, Devan, that was a smart take," or you can just point at me and laugh, and stick your tongue out and go, "That was a pooey take, Devan. That was a terrible one. You should go sit in the dunny and think about what you've done." Basically, they're gonna have a kid who hates him, as shown in the trailer. Then the supervillain breaks out, Gru's old nemesis, and who Gru stole something from a long time ago. Watch out! They go to the safe house, and the villain, they learn, can be stopped through this thing at this grandma's house, and so they try to break in. They fail to get the thing. The bad guy kidnaps the kids and the baby, and or the girls, and this is where I'm hoping the twist villain's revealed and it's actually Vector behind it. That would be kind of wacky. Anyway, the minions and or girls, depending on if the girls got kidnapped, but the kids definitely getting kidnapped. They go off and do something goofy. I don't know, one of them sees someone pitching a baseball and it's a famous baseball player and they sprint after him and I don't know, their pants fall off because you got to add in that humor there. And then Gru almost loses his kid trying to save him. The villain maybe has him strapped to a big box of Fortnite games and the kid's about to get addicted to Fortnite and he'll never be the same again, but then something happens. The minions show up with the famous baseball player and the famous baseball player knocks the guy in the face. Obviously it wouldn't be a famous baseball player, but I'm saying they're showing up with a magical plot device that will win the day, and the Gru saves him. The kid loves Gru all of a sudden and everyone's happy until the next movie. That's my prediction for Despicable Me 4. Anyway, sorry that this rant went so long. Look, it's okay. That's just my opinion on the movie. It's okay to enjoy it, of course, but that's just what annoys me about Illumination, and I really don't like it because all of their trailers, especially Rise of Gru, it's just so obvious what the plot is going to be and what's going to happen. It really makes me angry. It really tickles my nerves, I'll see you in the next one when I've calmed down.